We said, you know what? We're healthy. We don't have pets at the moment. Our child is grown. Our parents are healthy. Seems like the perfect time to go.
Hi, this is Lynn Widmeyer, and with me today is Karen Ethridge. And we are filming this in the house of one of my friends because my friend and her husband are on this fabulous cruise to Australia and islands around, and they are gone for 3 months. So in their absence, Karen and her husband Garrett are taking care of the house and the pets. I think there's cats.
One cat.
There's one cat. So until they return. And I just think it's absolutely fascinating, this gig that you're in, which you've been in for three
Oh, we've actually been doing this for over 10 years.
for over 10 years of going from place to place, taking care of house, pets, whatever. And you've sold your house. And I'm just fascinated by this thought.
Now, we don't pet sit full-time. We're full-time travelers, which means we don't have a home base. But I pet sit probably 3 to 6 months out of the year, because if I did it more than that, it would start to feel like a job, and I don't want it to feel like a job. I'm retired. Come on. So it's part of the year, and most of the time that I pet sit is when my husband Garrett is away working as a tour guide. So like right now, he's in Cuba leading a tour. He'll be back in about a week, and then we're going to do some traveling together, and then he'll be gone again. And so it's perfect for me to fill those times when he's gone, so I don't get lonely and all of that good stuff.
How did you come across this idea?
Oh my gosh. So a few years back, several years back, right after our last dogs and cat passed away, they lived good long lives, they just got old and passed. And Garrett and I looked at each other and said, you know what, this is our time to go travel. So we had been saving our pennies and we love to travel. And we said, you know what, we're healthy. We don't have pets at the moment. Our child is grown. Our parents are healthy. Seems like the perfect time to go. So we did. And we hit the road and just started traveling. And
Now, did you keep your house at this point? Did you say, let's try it out? You sold your house?
because part of what we were looking for is, where's that next place that we want to live? And so we really didn't think it would take that long for us to find that place, which we haven't found yet. But
Well, it's only been 10 years.
it's only been 10 years. Who knows? So, but partway through our travels, we discovered that we kept picking vacation rentals or hotels or whatever to stay in because there was a picture of a cat or a dog, and we really wanted to be around pets. So I did a lot of research, and at that time I discovered that there was a very small but growing world
I was going to say,
of pet
you
sit
must have
sites.
been right at the beginning of the trend.
Very early in, yes. There were just a few of these sites online. Basically, you become a member and you pay an annual fee. And then as a sitter, I can go out and I can look at all the listings that homeowners have listed saying, hey, we're going to go on vacation during this time. Here's our pets. Here's what our home's like. Here's the responsibilities. And the ones that sound interesting, I will apply for. And then they will get back. And if
Sort of like bidding. You're
kind of.
I guess you're competing with other.
You are. I
people.
am. And the pet owners are competing against each other too.
What do you look
know.
for? I mean, when you go on the site and you decide, and you're thinking, well, I've got 2 weeks in March or 3 weeks in April.
Well, we're big planners. We always have been. So we start from, where is it that we want to go next? What do we want to see next? So the next place that we'll be going, where we'll be doing some pet sitting, is the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, I bet. Oh, that'll
We've
be
not
beautiful.
explored that very much. would love to go up there and spend some time. So we said, let's spend late spring through mid-fall up in the Pacific Northwest. Let's see what kind of pet sits we can find and what other things we can do.
Now, what's your minimum length?
So a pet sit can be anywhere from one night to a year or more. We found we like longer pet sits because we get to settle in a bit more. So 10 days is really kind of my minimum.
Now, let me just say that 10 days would be the minimum for me to get the layout on how to operate the kitchen appliances and where the forks are and the wine glasses. I mean, you must be a quick learner.
You get that way, yes. And one of the things I found that really I didn't know going in was when I first get into a home, I'll take a video, detailed video of the house.
Oh,
because I'm not sure, a week, 2 weeks, here I've been here for almost 3 months. 3 months later, was that spot there on that rug?
Oh.
Did we do that? Was this bent like that? Did we do that? Where did I find this thing that came out of the dishwasher now?
What a good idea.
And so if I have a video, then at the end, I'm very careful to clean everything so that the house is better looking than when I got it, if I can. And
I like that.
Put everything back where I found it, if I can. And that video has saved me time and time again.
How did you pick Shepherdstown? I mean, here, you've been to Europe, you've been all over the world. How did you pick Shepherdstown, West Virginia for 3 months? Did the small town vibe appeal to you?
It did. We really, like I said, we didn't have a location in mind when I saw this ad. It was just kind of all U.S., what's available that's going to be a longer sit.
Lord.
And I saw this posting and the house looked fabulous and the people sounded very nice.
They are very nice.
And we did, yes, they are. And we did some research on the area and found that it seemed like really a nice little town with a good university, so it had some cultural things going on. It's got a nice fitness center. There are community groups. There's history. Yes, we've spent a lot of time going through the hills and hollows and back roads here and exploring all the history, which is just amazing. And we like hiking, and it just all kind of came together and seemed like a perfect fit.
Maybe when you decide to settle down, you'll choose Shepherdstown. How do you negotiate when you move around so much, finding that sense of community?
I have been working on how do I find inroads into the local community while I'm there for a very short time. And so, like last night, I went out and I joined a group of people for a trivia contest, which was great fun. We play mahjong. I've also taken pickleball lessons, and now I'm in a group that plays pickleball on a regular basis. So now when I go to other places, I can start to look for, hey, are there any mahjong groups? Are there any pickleball groups where the people are maybe not so good? They take me in.
You stay in one place for a while, you develop it, but how do you find it when you're moving through time?
It can be very difficult.
Now let me ask you, because of course you're moving around, where do you get your snail mail, or where are you registered to vote, or where's that? Because you don't have a premise address.
We don't have a physical address, you're correct. So we are domiciled in Florida. And there are various states that allow you to be domiciled there, even though you may not be there a lot of the time. Certain states do actually kind of encourage that kind of setup.
Because they get your taxes, I presume, but
right.
You're not placing any demand on their services.
Exactly. So what we did is about 6 months before we left our last place was we set up a mail service in Florida. So all of our mail goes there and they scan the outsides of the envelopes. And we go on the internet every few days and we look up our mailbox.
Oh my
And there are all of our envelopes. Boop, 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 boop. And some of them will say, oh, please open those and scan the contents to us. And other ones will say, I don't want you scanning it.
They'll scan the
They'll scan it.
Amazing.
amazing.
We will put up this wonderful video that you and Garrett did of your travels, and it really, where you've been and the things you've done, Christmas villages in Europe, it's quite amazing. So we'll put up the reference. But one of the pictures in that video, which really astounded me, was you open the trunk of your car. That's it. That's
everything.
That is everything that you take from place to place. Do you have other stuff that's in storage?
No.
Well,
I've got some family photos at my mom's in a closet, some old tax returns because I've got a financial background, and so I keep all that stuff. But that's it. That's all I've got.
When you set your rates, what factors into how much you charge? Is it the number of pets? Is that the scope of duties?
Nope. So in the pet sitting groups or platforms that we are part of, the agreement is that it's a mutual exchange. So everyone, both the pet owners and the pet sitters or the home sitters, pay for an annual membership, and then no money changes hands after that. That's it.
Wow.
So again, it comes back for me and so many other people like me around the world. It comes back to, we don't want it to feel like a job. We want it to feel like a mutual exchange. We're doing someone else a favor, and they're doing us a favor.
So now, if somebody was thinking, because you're very inspirational.
Thank you.
If someone's thinking about this, saying, "Well, that sounds pretty good," what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about?
That's a fabulous question. There are a number of these platforms online, both country specific and then some that are more globally based. My high recommendation is that you would look seriously at Trusted House Sitters.
That kept popping up in my search, Trusted House Sitters.
They are by far the leader in the industry. They have over 200,000 members around the world. They have members in over 140 countries. But not only that, so they've got by far more listings and more sitters than any other site. But they also offer a couple of other things which I think are really key. They have a community forum. So even if you're not ready to spend money on a membership, take the plunge, you can go become a member of their forum.
Oh.
And you can start to learn from people all around the world.
What a good tip.
Who have been doing this for so many years. So there are people on there who've been pet sitting for longer than I have, or have been hosting pet sitters for longer than I've been pet sitting. And they're all happy to give advice.
You are obviously a very outgoing, personable person. Do you think that's a quality that you need to be? Because you're moving through different social groups. And in your video, the people you met and have stayed friends with and everything have been, quite an extraordinary group. But do you think being outgoing is important to success?
That's an interesting question, because before we started doing this travel, I was not an outgoing
Really?
person.
Because, wow.
I was very much an introvert, and I still am in a lot of ways. But I've discovered that I have to step forward and encourage relationships and encourage conversations if I want it to happen, because I need it as much as anybody else. So it's really interesting. I think the most important things are to be honest with yourself. What is it you're looking for? What is it you're hoping for? What are your dreams? And how can you take small steps to start to make them happen?
Karen, this has just been so interesting, and you have just already become part of our little community here. That's pretty special, but it's just so fascinating about this new way of retirement and living your life. And thank you so much for sharing your tips and your experiences. And we will put up location of the video that you did, which I hope people will watch because it's pretty good.
And we also have a website, which we have not maintained over the years, but we do
We'll
have
put that up too.
We do have email capability. If anybody has questions about pet sitting, how to do pet sitting, how to get started, feel free to reach out to me.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Well, I've certainly enjoyed your stay.
Well, thank you for
here,
having me. I've
and
enjoyed
I
it
hope
too.
we might see you in the future.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.